background wise, um, we um, we were actually in the northern states up in Washington D.C. with the Army because I was deployed there after 9/11, and ended up. Long story short, ended up taking a job with the Secret Service. So I have a law enforcement background. Spent 7.5 years as a Secret Service agent, and we they moved us to New York. We stayed there for three and a half years, and we reached a point where uh, I was tired of traveling, and so was looking for something new. So I didn't want to be. I want to be spend more time with my family. Was one of the reasons I left that career, as well as just was looking for something new because we had an entrepreneurial spirit. We'd started two businesses before, and kind of wanted to go back in that direction. Um, Also, I have a carpentry. I grew up doing carpentry, and so I had an interest there as well. Um, and I explored. There was actually a business for sale down in the area that we live now, which is the Fort Walton Beach area, where my sister and my family live. So we were trying to, you know, do two things at once by starting a business, but also moving closer to our family. And it was a cabinet business, actually an independent cabinet business that built cabinets. And so I flew down and spent some time with the owner for about 2 or 3 days, and had originally negotiated a price on buying that business. Um, and we got to the point where on some of the paperwork, he wouldn't supply some tax documents. So long story short, we just felt like it wasn't a good opportunity because we felt like some of the numbers were untruthful. And so at that point, though, I was intrigued by the business, and so I started looking at other opportunities, and that's when I stumbled on to Kitchen Solvers, and it submitted a online form, and Jerry, who was the previous, I believe it was a president, I guess what we called Callie, but anyway,
Yeah, I think he was the general manager.
General manager, sorry, yeah. Um, Yeah, I mean, he called me with like literally 30 seconds. And I was shocked at how quickly he called. But anyway, just started the process at that point and kind of, feeling each other out. And Emily, you mentioned culture. We really, that was one of the things that kind of drew us to the franchise. Um, we just felt like it was something that fit us. Wasn't above, they weren't trying to be something that they weren't. And it was just a good fit for the position that we were at in our life, and then what we were wanting to accomplish. And ever since then, it's actually grown. But the cool thing is it's maintained that culture. We feel like it actually has improved even more with the people that they brought on, which is great. Kaylee being one of them. So
I'm just kind of providing that. So also, thank you. But tell me a little bit about some of your development in general. When you started, did you have a showroom? Did you start without? Talk a little bit about the development and what was exciting about it, or what was the challenge?
Yeah, so we did not start out with a showroom when we first started this. I'll be honest, we kind of bootstrapped to a certain degree when we first started, because we didn't have a whole lot of money invested other than the franchise fee and things like that. But we did start out running from our home, and I will say that it was a little bit of a challenge starting out, just trying to get leads and develop a reputation, because where we live is it's a very tight community, and there's people that are businesses that do similar stuff that we do that have been here for a long time. And so we kind of had to like break into the market. You know, we were not from this area, even though my sister and my parents had moved here. Um, we were not from the area, so we had to kind of develop some relationships pretty quickly, and just be patient and keep doing the same things, you know, over and over. Um, and so we've gone through, uh, you know, some changes because we did that and we actually decided that we felt like we needed a showroom because a lot of people would call and say, you know, where's your location? And they, you know, we had at the beginning we had a challenge of people just even stay on the phone with us once we told them we didn't have a, you know, location. I guess they thought we weren't, you know, legit. Um, but anyway, we did end up starting. We started with a small 350 square foot showroom for about a year. It was more of an office, I would claim. Um, and then after that year was up, we found a really ideal location for a showroom that was on a heavily busy street. Um, and so we took the plunge and did that. And we started out with a girl that would, you know, work there for us, as, you know, to man the offices or man the showroom. And we maintained that for what, 3 years?
Yeah, it was
3 years, that one. And sad to say, well, not really sad, but it's just we found that we didn't have, out of those 3 years, I can probably count on one hand how many times I, you know, met with a customer there. So we just felt like it wasn't really needed anymore, and our lease was coming out due this past December, so we ended up letting it go and moved back into our home, and we're setting up a little bit of a separate office out of our home here. Um, but
And we find that over the years, you know, people are really like that we're small, that we're not a huge expanse, and our customer service is, it just beats everybody in our area because we pay attention to so many details. And they like us coming to their homes for all their appointments, for installation. You know, Jay's always on the job, whether we have a subcontractor doing it or not. He's always following up with the client. It brings a more personal experience to the client. And I think they just really appreciate it, because we have some with, you know, young kids, and it's hard to get to a showroom to meet up to talk about, and then the kids are running around crazy. So at least they can do that in their own home and feel. I think it brings a comfortability as well, that they're in their space and they feel safe, and us coming in there, you know, they can kick us out at any time. So promoting ourselves just as a remodeler, not as a showroom. And Jay goes through the conversation of
the difference.
You know, if you want a showroom or, you know, a big box store, you go in, they've never seen your home, you pick out your selections, somebody else is going to install it. You know, there's just so much disconnect within. And I know that doesn't happen with the kitchen solvers that own showrooms. But in our area, you know, the ones that are local competitors, you know, they have different salespeople who sell the job, then they have installers that install the job that are just not even connected to the company. And there's just so many ways that could go wrong. Whereas Jay sells it as, you know, we're in your home and we are spending time with you and trying to understand what your concerns are for your kitchen. And your challenges and what you want and what you don't like, and being in the kitchen at that point just really I think changes, because he can see and he can touch and he can take exact measurements, whereas big box stores, you know, they tell you to go in and you measure your own and you're responsible for all the delivery and, you know, checking the boxes, and if something's damaged you're responsible for it. So we're just making it easier for the clients.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, you know, elaborate on that you were asking about some of the challenges and how we've overcome it. And I would say, you know, changing the mindset of people who, you know, the traditional ways that you go into a showroom. But with technology and the changes and the things that are available these days, it's just a matter of educating the customer on we do our process a little bit different, and we just don't feel like there's a need for a showroom.
Bought into a franchise is because we have owned businesses before, and we really didn't want. We knew so much work was into starting the website and setting up all these vendors and things like that. And so that was an attractive thing for us. That we were paying a royalty fee, but it was actually going towards support for the business. And it was things that we didn't have to think about. And we could just run our business the way that we needed to. So I think that was a big thing. And also just the support from the corporate office, from other franchisees. It really did, like Jay said, it feels like a family that we can call anyone and they'll be able to give us an answer or direct us in a different way as far as how we can solve our own issue or challenge that we're going through. I think we feel 100% confident in our franchise. And very satisfied with why we chose to go with Kitchen Solvers.